must have the new sign-in sheet. Good morning. Welcome to the Financial Committee here on September 5th, 2023. Present today are Councilman Clent, Finance Officer Chandra Phillips, and myself. I'll turn this over to Chandra. I know it's going to be a short meeting, but I think there's some stuff that we want to document and make sure we have on film that we consider going forward.
First thing that I want to talk about this morning is the carnival ticket sales. As you guys know, Spirit Gems did the pre-sale tickets last year, and they agreed to do them again this year. Saturday afternoon came in and counted all the money. There was $38,430 in cash. There was a check from Spirit Gems for $1,280, and then Zip Trip sold $3,000 worth. Zip Trip has to run it through their till, and then their accounts payable writes a check. So notified Lori, Zip Trip will write that $3,000 check back to the city of Winter. So total sold $42,710. We guaranteed $50,000, so we were short $7,290. We will, because we can guarantee them their check first thing tomorrow morning after council approves it, we will write our check for $10,290. Zip Trip will reimburse us for that $3,000. Lori and I spoke. Lori is in charge of Spirit Gems and was in charge of the ticket sales, and several of the reasons we were told people weren't buying the pre-sale tickets. One major one is that we heard they accept tickets from previous years. So people have been keeping, and other places, people keep their tickets.
Do one at a time.
Okay. So if you have tickets left over from previous years, you can bring them and they will accept them and use them for the rides. The other being that if you have been to another city that has max carnivals, other than the Rosebud Carnival, because those are specific to the Rosebud Carnival, they'll accept those as well. As long as they say max carnivals and no specific city, they will accept them.
What cities in the area?
Valentine was the one I heard the most about. I don't know where the other ones are, because they did say they do not accept the Rosebud Fair ones. And their operators have been told not to accept those. They are willing to not do that in the future if that's going to hurt our pre-sales. They also discussed the ability to, instead of pre-saling tickets, maybe we pre-sale the wristbands and they go to wristbands versus the ticket sales for the city of Winter, if that's something we want to discuss for next year. Because that was another of the complaints that we heard was Monday they're doing wristbands for all day for $25. We'd rather just go Monday. The third complaint that we heard for why not buying tickets, they bought them for their younger children but did not buy them for their middle school, high school age children because the rides were geared more towards the younger children. So that's something that we may want to look into in the future of making sure that there's so many for the younger, so many for the middle and older children as well. And I'm sure the weather played a role in it too. People saw that it was going to be 110 degrees out, not necessarily wanting to come, although I will say my husband and I went and walked the Midway on Sunday night and it was beautiful out. The wind was there. It was starting to get dark. It was a gorgeous night to be out there, and it was packed on Sunday night. So I don't know. Just seems kind of like there was a lot of things that were piled against us on it. So things to think about for next year when we put our RFP out. Was speaking with the mayor earlier before we started on what other cities, what other communities do with their carnival groups. Are they guaranteeing a certain price? Are they doing a split portion of all sales? So I'm going to do some research to see what other communities are doing. I don't believe other cities are in charge of their carnivals. Usually it's a nonprofit that brings them in, kind of like what used to happen in Winter. So it'll be interesting to see how all of that works. Would also like to look at other areas' contracts as well, if they have a guarantee of how many hours per day they're gonna operate, different things like that, so.
Would always be nice to break even, but $7,300 for a 4-day event isn't terrible either.
It's not.
No. And since the city took over, this is actually the first time we've had to supplement it. We've written checks in previous years, but that was mostly so we took the checks that were paid, that were used to buy the tickets, and then it was an in and out type of deal.
Next matter. That's it?
That's really all I have. I mean, budget is done, and that's all I concentrated on for the last three months, it seems like, so that's about all I have for you. Unless
Austin,
there's any
any
questions on
finance
the agenda
questions?
for tonight.
No, I was just
Not at the moment.
looking at stuff for tonight. And
Contingency, I believe in your packets, I did put in there what the balance is. The balance with the request plus the transfers out tonight, there will be just a hair over $3,000 remaining contingency for the year.
With 4 months to go.
how much you say?
About 3,000 out of 300.
Let's see how that works with nothing next year.
1%? Yeah. I know. You're coming tonight.
And for the record, the budget balances. We are not short. We're not missing any amount of money.
Is that for any certain electrician?
It's just for the public.
Yes.
Back next year with everything in, the city will make, expense to revenue, total profit margin is $50,000 or a little over 50,000.
59, I believe. What's the number? Maybe not.
I'll have to,
We'll spend that.
that's all I have.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you, all.